I know talking about things is a big part of communication, but I think you have to be able to listen to what people are saying.
Yes.
And that's when change starts to happen, is when you can listen and make a plan and go from there.
A conversation is one of the ways we get to know and understand each other. When faced with division, it's one of the ways to uplift unity. The Aiken Department of Public Safety and members of the community they serve came together for a conversation based around 6 questions that get to the heart of who they are, what they're passionate about, and what they hope for. This is Uplift Unity, presented by the Aiken Department of Public Safety.
I'm Bishop George Burkhalter, pastor of Faith on High Church, 919 Hampton Avenue, Northwest Aiken, South Carolina. From Aiken, South Carolina, was born here in 1944, and I left here and went to Washington, D.C., but I'm back home to pastor a church.
I'm Ann Mosley. I'm originally from Irmo, South Carolina. I moved to Aiken back in 2013, so I've been here about 7 years, and I'm an officer at Aiken Public Safety. So, Pastor, what is your story?
I was born here, and I was raised and brought up here, but I moved to Washington, D.C., and I saw so much thing happening in Washington, D.C., that it was so beautiful until when I came back home, I wanted to bring it north-south, but it's hard doing it.
Oh.
But my story is that I would love to see everybody just come together, and I know it's going to be hard to do, to come together, and let's be as one. Let's be one person and just love everybody. That's what the Lord wants us to do.
What did you do up in D.C.? Did you do some preaching up there? Or
Yes, I
travel
did a little bit of preaching. Yes, I did preaching on the street. My pastor wouldn't let us preach in the pulpit. We had to walk the street in Washington, D.C. and preach. And then I own a shoe shop in Washington, D.C. and a restaurant. So I always have been in business for myself, and the Lord just take that and turn it over to me here. Now, can I ask you, what is your story?
Yeah, so I think I said earlier, I grew up in Irmo, South Carolina, which is right near Columbia. Then I decided to come to USC Aiken for college, so I've been here since 2013, so 7 years. Went in as a sociology major and found out that just wasn't for me. So I decided to change to criminal justice and did some internships and found out I really liked it. After I graduated, applied here. I liked Aiken. My grandfather was actually from Aiken. So came and interviewed here, and I really liked it. I thought this department was a good fit for me, and I've enjoyed it ever since. I've been here a little over 3 years, and it's been fun.
But how did you really want to become a police officer? And the reason I'm asking that is because with all going on with the police force.
Oh, yeah.
And it's very important to let people know that it's not all the police force. It's just some that, and then you can make a person mad. I get angry myself sometimes as a pastor. So
Yes, sir.
How did you really feel about coming into the police, being a police officer?
Yeah, good question. So both my parents, they have desk jobs, and I just knew I could not sit at a desk all day. I like to talk, I like to interact with people, find out, learn about people, and really just help people. So when I started doing some internships in law enforcement, a lot of law enforcement is helping people, going out in your community and making those connections and interacting. And I thought that would be something that would be right up my alley. Law enforcement does have the fun sides with getting out there and being proactive and, cutting down the crime in the community. But I just think my personality fit with it very well.
I have one question. The reason I have this question here again is because I just had a grandson just pass his test in North Carolina.
Okay.
And he's a state trooper today.
Oh, wow. Well, good for him.
One
Congratulations.
of the things, thank you. And I try to let him know to be prayed up. I know this is a little different, but do you really give into the Lord so that He can bless you in and out? Because we always praying for the police officers, especially here in Aiken. We have the best folks there is.
I agree.
How do you feel about that when I say, do you pray?
Oh, yeah. My mom always says that when you put something in the plate and give to the church, He's going to give something in return.
All right.
So, everybody needs to be praying just that we can all come together as one, and get along. And with that, that's when change starts. So I think that everybody needs to be praying. I certainly am, that as a community we can come together and move forward in these trying times. Is there a moment in your past that had a significant impact in shaping who you are today?
When I was in Washington, D.C., let me say when I was in Aiken here, my mother died when I was 11 years old. And one of the things I'll let everybody know, if I had a mother coming up, I probably would have been further up in my ministry than I am today. My father, he was a pastor, and he was a painter contract here in Aiken, the late Reverend Burkholder, and he always worked. And I told him I wasn't gonna work that way, you know. When I got in Washington, D.C., I ended up doing it because I had my own business. At the same time, when I was working and trying to make ends meet, there were so many things I saw that I really wanted to make a difference in it. And one of the things that I really wanted to make a difference in is with my girls. I had all daughters.
Oh, wow.
And I wanted them to be the best. And sure enough, they are the best. So I'm so excited about that. The same question to you.
Yeah.
All right.
Mine would probably be that most people know it about me if you know me personally, but my dad turns 80 this year. So he was around 55. So he's 80 when I was born. So he's 80 with a 25-year-old.
Oh, okay.
So I always say that I am an old soul. I was brought up with that old school.
Yeah.
So my mom and him are 23 years apart. So I was brought up, just a little different, I think, than most kids my age. Everywhere I went, everybody always thought my dad was my grandfather. I'm like, no, that's just my dad.
Yeah.
So I always say I have a very good taste in music.
All right.
Because that's something that's, I think, impacted me and shaped me, having a father that was a little older than normal. Back to those old school things that, a lot of the younger generation isn't learning or doing now. So I have those instilled in me, and I'm trying to use them in my everyday life. Is there something you've dreamed of doing for a long time, and if so, why haven't you done it?
The dream that I had for a long time is, and I say since I've been called into ministry, that's been 1977. In Washington, D.C., I got a chance to work with the police officer in Washington, D.C. And we saw so many of them came to the Lord. And not only did they come to the Lord, they're still on the police force. Some of them still on the police force today. And I just got an enjoyment working with them and seeing them. And if they come in my shop and my business and everything, I could always talk to them. And I mean talk to them like a brother, either like a sister. And one of my concerns was that I always wanted to see the police force that, and the reason I'm saying that is because you are an officer and I have a grandson just became an officer. I want to see them be the best there. Again, as I said, we got one brother sitting in here now, and he was out there helping give away food one day.
Yeah.
And we was giving away food, and every time I pick up a box, he said, I got it. He didn't know I was 75 years old at the time. But out of the 76 years I've been living, I have seen some of the greatest things that ever. And my concern is, again, that I would like to see that I haven't seen yet, is more people get together with the police officers and started learning them. And most people don't know the police officers. That's the problem. And the violence that goes on, I really hoping and praying that would change.
Yes, sir.
Because people don't realize when y'all leave out, your life is in danger too. And you want to go back to your family. And the same thing in the pulpit. I had people come in the pulpit when I was in Virginia. I pastored in Virginia for 22 years. And one of the things I had in there, I had several times people came into church with guns. Mm-hmm. So we had to call the police while we was in there, though they put them down, you know. But I'm saying that one of the things I would like to see done is when people can really come together and just say that we're going to be one. Now, you asked me that question. I think your answer going to be better than mine.
Well, I don't know about that.
I'm going to let you flow with it.
I don't know about that. Something I've always wanted to do is, and I think Investigator Moore said this in her interview too, is travel. You know, I love to eat. I like to eat different kinds of foods from all over.
Okay.
Meeting new people. You know, going into a completely new culture that you've never been exposed in. You can learn so many new things about yourself and about that culture. See it different places. I was actually supposed to take a couple trips, but they got all canceled because of Corona. But you know, we'll reschedule and do it another time. But I just seeing you know, different things that I haven't been exposed to and putting yourself in situations that are new. I think you learn a lot from those, and it makes you a better person. If you ask for a miracle, what would it be and why?
Most of my miracles is about seeing people really giving their life to the Lord. And once they do that, that's a miracle within itself. Mm-hmm. And I know this world would change just like that.
Oh, yeah.
Well, what would your miracle be?
I think right now it would probably be that we can get this Corona stuff cleared up.
Okay.
I think that an aspect of it that a lot of people don't think about is, you know, when you have people that are being isolated and kept at home, it kind of is like a lot of times what we experience in law enforcement around the holidays with people getting depressed at home. They're not out talking to a lot of people like they normally are. They're not being visited by family members, and they start getting depressed at home. And, you know, I think if we could get this cleared up and have a miracle where it would go away, a lot of people their mental health would be a lot better.
Right.
Go out and do whatever we want to do again. Socialization is a big part of people, you know, being happy and staying healthy. When you think about the important issues we're facing in our country, is there one that you think of the most? If so, why and what would you like to see done about it?
Our young people really give themselves, I have to say, give themselves to the Lord, because flesh can't do it. They can't do it on their own. And one of the things I teach is that children having children, and that's one of the biggest problems. And I would like to see that stop. Mm-hmm. Now, I talk to some of them, they got guns on them, and, you know, I ask them, why are you carrying a gun? Well, I have to look out for myself. No, you don't need that. I said, come to my church and let me talk to you. And I do have about 4 of them now. They'll come in and talk with me.
That's good.
They'll talk to me, you know. And sometimes that's all they need is talking to them. Mm-hmm. See, and I'm excited about that. Now, you is on the force and everything, and I know you run into some problem.
Oh, yeah. I think right now we're in a country that's very divided, and I think that, you know, if people can just come together and listen to one another.
Yes.
I know talking about things is a big part of communication, but I think you have to be able to listen to what people are saying.
Yes.
And that's when change starts to happen, is when you can listen and make a plan and go from there. I would like to see, you know, everybody just have respect for each other.
Yes.
I think that, you know, and it's my generation too, the younger generation. Yes. We need to get back to those old school ways, you know. Yeah. I was brought up, respect your elders, be kind to everybody, and they'll return that. And, you know, sometimes that's not the case anymore, but, you know, you gotta treat people the way you want to be treated. Yeah. So I think if we can get back to those core values, we'll be going in the right direction.
Yes. Can I just say one thing? Some of you said just now, and one of the words was that you need to listen. People look for somebody to talk to. When I was pastor in Virginia, a young man came in my church. He was going to kill his wife, his 2 children, and himself. And I said, Lord, we don't go to school for this. What do I do? He said, just listen, let him talk. And that young man sat and talked to me almost 2 hours. And when he finished, he said, the Lord give me a picture to draw over your pulpit, to go over your pulpit, which I have it over my pulpit here in Aiken. He's out in California, one of the top artists.
Oh, wow.
And that's why he just needed somebody to listen to him. You know, sometimes we'll jump up and talk more, and especially a preacher, we'll jump up and talk when we should let them be talking to us to get out whatever is in them. And I learned that from that, and you said a big key word there. I hope a whole lot of people listen to what you said on that.
What's the most surprising thing that someone has ever done for you?
And I have to go back to the Lord when he saved me. When I really give my life to the Lord, I just have to say it. I can't leave him. That's one of the best things ever happened to me. When I was in Washington, D.C. and living up there, and you did things, even in business, you know. We drank, we smoked. I never did on drugs or nothing like that. Thank the Lord for that. But when that happened, then I saw other people's coming in that I didn't even know was doing things for me. And one of the greatest things that what really happened to me, it was, I'm quite sure you all probably know him, Reverend Jesse Jackson. He used to come in, talk to my pastor all the time in Washington. And when he came one time and he told me some things to expect in life, and I seen it just like it happened, but at the same time he told me there was going to be those that going to bless me, and I saw those that came in and blessed me. It just does my heart good to know that there is somebody out there care about you just like you. Now this is my first time meeting and talking with you. Now, you would be in my prayers all the time. And one of the key things in my prayers is a lot of people don't know, the Lord heard your prayers early in the morning. So I get up every morning at 4:00 a.m. and I'm on my knees.
Wow.
Praying for our country and for our police officers. Okay, now what about you?
All right, most surprising thing someone's ever done for you. I think I'll have to say something that happened recently is that when we're not working, we have to work the Wells Fargo special at the bank. We have to direct traffic out there in the parking lot, and it's right there in Kroger. So if you ever go to Kroger, Lord have mercy. I mean, it's like everybody decides they want to go all at the same time, all day long. And there's constantly people driving by. And they see a police officer standing out there. They're like, well, what in the world are they doing? They want to stop and talk and find out what's going on. And one of the things, especially, you know, with everything that's been in the news the past couple months with police, a lot of people, I'd say probably about 8 a day, will come by and say, hey, you know, I just wanted to stop and say, you know, thank you for everything you do, or can I get you a water? I had one lady come with her daughter and bring me lunch one day. Grandfather took his grandson to the gas station and bought me a drink, and they brought it over. You know, have an interaction with them. Always try to give a positive interaction. Show that, you know, everything on the news isn't always that negative.
That's right. Yeah.
So I think that's one of the things that surprised me lately is to see that there's still so many people that are supporting us, especially here in Aiken. We do feel that support and we appreciate it. I said it earlier, you know, you can sit here and talk all you want, but you got to be able to listen.
Yes. And
you got to be able to comprehend what somebody's saying, and if you're going to make a change about it, listen to what they have to say and then go from there. I think that, you know, doing this is very important to learn more about our community and what's going on in our community and what we need to do differently. So I enjoyed it, and I think we need to do more stuff like this.
Oh boy, I don't have to say nothing on that. Good. But that's the way I preach.
Yeah.
I let the church, I said, while I'm preaching, I'll stop preaching what you think about that and let the people talk so that they can get involved in the message. And what you say is truth. We are better together.
We are better together.
We are better together.
We hope you enjoyed that Uplift Unity conversation presented by the Aiken Department of Public Safety, and it inspires you to have your own. Don't forget to subscribe for more of Uplift Unity. Hit the notification bell too. Visit our shop at upliff.com to get your Uplift merch. And if you'd like to be on Uplift Unity, sign up at upliff.com. Thanks for watching.